consciousness, co-creation. Thank you, Holy Spirit. We're just protecting our space and calling in the angels and calling in the galactic federations. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Celeste, also known as Joanna, aka Joanna. Just shifting timelines and a lot of the stories that we're going through right now, which we're going to talk about today, bits and pieces and chunks are being pulled out that as you heal those soul fragments and you heal those veils of density that go over the chakras, that go over your multidimensional bodies, in the cycle of now, in the cycle of your ascension, they're getting pulled off and they're getting healed by your beautiful teams and of course Mother Father. Father has been doing a lot of healing with me, so I'm very, very grateful. I didn't realize all of the imprints through all of the many timelines that I've been taking on. And as you get kind of more authenticated, if you will, because we were talking about that yesterday, and learning more about your identification, about who you are as source, and all of the sojourns that you go on in any moment, even the slightest little trauma that you've carried from childhood, or a teacher, maybe from when you're 8 years old or something, or a neighbor, even any of those things that kind of sit on your soul as to who you are, the identification of you, the authenticity of you as source creator. And they do kind of put these little, I just see them as veils of shadow, and they're veils of little darkness on top of the crystalline, on top of your crystalline sheath. They're your Merkaba, which is a crystalline sheath. And so, any of those, little traumas, they take away and they put little masks over the crystalline, shields of all that you are, and the little gossamer threads. And you want those gossamer threads to be as pure as possible, to be as crystalline as possible. And the more that you work with light, you're going to start feeling like, wow, I actually did carry that for quite a while. And that one comment just threw me, it was sitting on my body and my fields for like 60 years or however old you are, right? So it's really getting into a higher vibrational experience of understanding who you are, authenticating who you are with source every day, letting go of the outer dynamics that want to define you and want to place you in these boxes and want to give you those experiences of defining and modification and calculating who you are. And why it's so important that they've been talking about, because our advancement in technology, our advancement in all of these beautiful inventive experiences that we have, but how important it is that the only way for us to maintain our crystalline energy, and the only way for us to they're showing me right now that we will have technology that will assist us in maintaining our crystalline energy. But again, we have to start off the beginning. We have to do it right. The foundations are the species that are on the planet, because we are a planet of varying densities. We are a planet of varying species that are coming here to learn lessons of the galaxy, to learn lessons of unity consciousness, to learn lessons of separation, those species that cannot go back into the Christ consciousness. We're learning so many beautiful lessons about how it is that any species evolves. And of course, on different planets and different areas of the galaxy, there are certain, elements like water and the various gases that are formed on different planets, and how their rocks and how their planet is actually formed. All of these things vary from planet to planet, to galaxy, where in the timeline of radiation they're in. So all these planets go through all these juxtapositions and all these environmental, variables that they go through for their own evolution. But every planet is evolving. Even if we think that, however we define Jupiter to be or Saturn to be, they're showing me that they're going through an equal and honoring evolution in their own unique way. And it may not hold in what our perspective is of life. They're holding various aspects of consciousness and various aspects of life that absolutely have to do with the rest of us. Because as we've said many times before, right now we're getting into a more wider, vast, more fluid experience of the holographic reality of Source returning it back to Source recombining it back to Source remembering itself back to Source doing those soul fragment healings, so that we're going back into the DNA, we're going back into the allness of Source. Source then is able to lighten that codon within the DNA, which we are all holographic experiences of the micro-macro. And so in that, we're also learning that our family in the planet, our planetary species, has everything to do with its placement within the galaxy, its placement within the universe. And they are also going to have to, because of Gaia going through this planetary ascension, it absolutely moves through the other planetary ascensions. The planets don't stay the same in their levels of consciousness. They move and they adjust. They have to, especially the grander planets like Jupiter, which is known as the father of the galaxy. So Jupiter is holding that divine masculine energy space, but it is also going through its absolutely profound dynamics of evolution for, healing and churning those galactic wars that Jupiter has, holding space for. So all of these experiences within our galaxy are moving through ascension. We're moving through evolution. There's nothing that light doesn't touch. There's nothing that the Father's plan doesn't touch. And so as each and every one of us are moving into an understanding and an awakening that we are each have a soul's blueprint that are encompassing of the highest soul's development of you, how your divine soul blueprint is designed, with Mother, Father, and all of your soul families within that 13th dimensional understanding, how and who you are and what you are in the identification of who you are, your species, your role, your gender, and all of those things that make you up, but more to your DNA, more to your Akash, more to the experiences you have in the galaxy. And all of those things are becoming more and more in your now experience as you're going through your daily healing. You're calling in those soul fragment integrations, because that's what makes you whole. As you're calling in that density, as you're calling in those experiences of you to heal and face those little moments where, wow, that really did play on my soul, that really played on my consciousness, my psyche, you're allowing yourself to then churn and alchemize. So alchemy is within all moments of our day. And Source is doing the grander alchemy. As I had a beautiful vision and experience with Source this morning, Mother, Father, about releasing some of those energies of those woundings on my heart that I had carried because of the energies of throwing away life, and I had carried them very deeply because of a healer, and being a global healer and a collective healer, and the things that I'm ready to face and the things that I have to face. I have to be able to have a strong multidimensional system so that I'm not going to crack under the pressure, and I can actually process and then transmute as much as I can as humanity is going through these very profound, veils unfolding. We have to be able to face it all. And in that means that there's a lot of processing. We're going to talk about that today. When you're going through a timeline shift and you're going through those purgings and you're going through the psyche purgings and the psyche healings, you do have to process everything that's on the table now. For instance, we'll give you just a very basic understanding. We say do the infinity on everything that you're moving through. So if you're going through a grand life change, like a losing of a job or a family or a house or anything like that, or income, put the infinity on the table and then start marking out in the negative side and the positive side all of those things that you're moving through, and all of those things that you're tangibly engaging in. And as you're doing so, you're allowing yourself to kind of put on the table and start alchemizing what can really be alchemized, what you have to face and make right. You actually have to put action in. That's the divine masculine energy. And then the divine feminine energy of each of those actions, right? The divine feminine energy of each of those actions might be to have a healing with somebody, sit down and take them a care package and show them that you care intimately, or show them that you care emotionally. But also understanding too that when you're doing this infinity, you're going to realize that the people that are involved, they are different species. They have different awakening processes. They can process light differently than you do. They process injuries and wounds differently than you do. And so it's allowing you a very grand expose, a very grand tapestry and a canvas, if you will, and why we do the path work. Because anybody that's joining me from here on out, I talk about higher consciousness, I talk about light intelligence, I talk about how we are now entering into the 5D gates, and how each of us, wherever each of us are at, it's about stepping into that higher accord. It's stepping into the higher agency of who you are and reclaiming yourself as a master of the design of your own life. But you must understand consciousness. And to understand consciousness, you have to take yourself there in the inhale and the exhale of the micro, macro, of the holographic universe, the quantum universe, all that we are as multidimensional, multivibrational beings. And how do you start healing away from the church and state that has done nothing but separate and dissect us? Once everything falls apart, you can then pick and pull the best pieces of church and state, but it's certainly not in the higher evolution systems that we will be creating, North Star, and all the various planets and all the various timelines that each and every one of you will be experiencing. Because there's not two of us that are going to be experiencing the very same timeline. We just can't. Because each and every one of you have different DNA allocations. And as we said again, as you're putting out the infinity, each and every one of you have activated different codons. Each and every one of you have different ways that you temperament and pacing that you process light. Some of you are very slow at processing light. Some of you don't want to move through the ascension process in a very deep way, where you might have a partner that is meant to do teaching. You might have a partner that's meant to be a leader for certain healing systems or certain teaching systems. So you're going to have to work that out and put it on the table, put the infinity on the table and say, in this relationship that we have now, how do we see each other assisting in our growth process? And then you get to really refine it, because inside your heart, if you're with a partner or a mate that doesn't want to evolve, because you're always hitting the same wall, you're always hitting the same arguments, and the fights go nowhere, and there's no resolve, and there's just narcissism, right? There is no ever resolve. It's just continually pain and continually cycling in that same karmic experience. But you have to put it on the table and you have to sort it out. Or what's going to happen is that you'll have source sorted out, and it will be a much more jolting experience, and it will be just ripped out. It'll be like vacuumed out. Because if your soul's destiny and your higher self says you're meant to be on this type of a paradigm, what we talked about 2 videos ago, go back and watch that. The paradigm shift is very dramatic, and so those is where you cannot go backwards. So if there's a paradigm shift in that you haven't been doing what you've been guided to do through your guides and your teams, always showing you these points about releasing someone, letting someone go, doing the healing work, saying goodbye, shutting the door forever, cutting the cords, all of these things we need to do to tidy up timelines. That's our topics for today. Our higher consciousness topics today are understanding the new timelines that we have. How are the timelines being adjusted? Is that multidimensional source energy, your core vibration, which is linked to your divine soul's blueprint. At the soul level, at the galaxy level, the universal level, the collective level, which you're also connected with within the galaxy, because your collective is part of the galaxy, and then your Gaia level. So all of this is incorporation of your soul's blueprint. But now that we're on new timelines, it would be very privy, and why I've stayed for so very long, and my channel has been shadow banned for about 8 years. Why I would be very privy for those that so desire, but you can book an appointment, complement. You can book an appointment to get to know more about your divine soul's blueprint. Where are you at? How to get comfortable and more intimate with your guides. How to build better relationships and engagement and entanglement with your guides. How to build that relationship with Source Creator, how to build that relationship with you. Because from here on out, this is what our journeys are all about. We are soul evolutionary beings. We are spiritual beings. And this is what our journey here is. It is a spiritual journey. It's very sacred. It's very honoring. And you get to manifest the life that you choose. You get to manifest the health. You get to manifest the wellness. You get to manifest a more meaningful, deeper engagement and participation with life. And that's really what all connection is about. That's the difference between my channel and all other channels, is I really go deep and I really go wide and exploratory with the 3 E's and the 3 A's about ascension, and really allowing yourself to explore, express, and experience Source Creator, that connection of Source, that connection of the holographic experience, the connection of all that is meant, that really brings that creative genius to life. We're nothing without our creative genius. We are nothing without our connection. We are nothing without the essence of knowing that we are sacred creative children. That's how we heal. We heal everything through that creative expression, through remembering that we are the sacred child. I've talked about it since the beginning of my radio shows. I've talked about it on all of my episodes. Creativity is why we're here. It's in the Source Creator. It's in the Creator's name. Our Source Creator, Source is the source essence of each and every one of our creative abilities, and why we're here, gifts, skills, and talents. Why each and every one of us are here, your soul blueprint, and all the tangible and all the intangible, intrinsic and extrinsic things that we see that we don't see, that are a part of our makeup, that we then get to offer to our collective. So someone like myself, I have very intrinsic and extrinsic experiences. I have very tangible and intangible gifts that I offer. Being a vibrational healer, being a vibrational conduit, being a source messiah, and all of these things that I offer, people would look at me, and if I have nothing, especially if I'm homeless, and they say, what do you have to offer anybody? You're nothing in our reality. Physically and superficially wise, how we used to gauge and how we used to judge and how we used to define and how we used to compartmentalize people and value and worthiness. We're not doing that anymore, because we have to go through the healing. We have to heal all of those assets and all of those injuries of where we guided and where we garnered and where we judged importance and value and worthiness. We're now seeing that if there is no spiritual abundance, there is no abundance. Because that spiritual abundance allows you that connection with all that is life. With my spiritual abundance, I can connect with all the timelines. I can connect with all of the universes. I can connect with all of the beings and all of the cetaceans and all of the energies in anywhere. And that's my abundance. That's how I'm so spiritually rich. I'm so essentially rich. I'm so feeling, and I'm so emotional. I'm so, learning how to manage my emotions and balance it within the divine feminine masculine energies. And then come into a grander, beautiful harmony galactically. Today's going to be about galactic timelines. Coming into a merging and a harmonization of galactic identification of who you are. Because we've just gone through a shift. A Guy has just raised her resonance. Guy has just raised her optimum, homeostasis. So now there's things kind of, I see this time right now, this period right now, we've just gone through some portals and everybody knows that. The older timelines are being pulled out. So those of you that are with me, you're on the timeline that is going forward in ascension. And you can choose, that's your part of your pathwork, is intending your direction and your trajectory. That's part of your manifesting as a co-creator, divine multidimensional being of source light. If you choose eternal light, then it's going to take that you're going to start to entrain yourself into a higher vibrational being. It's going to be challenging if you don't from here on out. Don't do the daily soul work. If you're not doing the daily soul work, the daily path work, you're going to be thrown into situations where you're going to have to really do your healing and do it in a way that it can be very, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be as traumatic as it is when you're being forced into change, when you're being forced into the vacuum sucking certain people out and certain experiences out, like a job or something like that. It doesn't have to be that traumatic. But if you're not heeding spirit, and if you're not in alignment, if you're not doing the daily path work, you're not connected to your higher self, all of this lower vibrational, all of the lower vibrational negative practices like dark occultism and all of those things that just, again, provide entropy and quickening of degradation, quickening of negative karma, quickening of the pulling out, those are things that people experience, yes, but if you have this consciously now knowing, if you're doing those things, the only eventuality is the negative side of creation. That's why I put the infinity on everything you do during the day. Where am I at on my infinity? Where am I at on who I choose to be? Where am I at on my inner design? Where am I at on my identification? We really want to bring that forward because we're going to be moving into the only way that I can describe it, because I'm moving through my I'm opening into a more galactic conduit. Okay, so I'm going to explain this. So again, go back to my videos. I speak about higher vibrational experiences. I speak about consciousness. I speak about the threading and the omnipotent and the omnipresent of Source Creator, about the threading of Source Creator, the gossamer threads, the gossamer weaving of Source Creator. That's what I read. I read the energy threading of vibration, of the collectives that are placed before me now and future now moments. Because we've just gone through a shift, we've gone through a portal, there's energies that are now, I see it as an ironing out. The ironing out of energies, the ironing out of vibrations, because people are leaving and people are moving. And it's absolutely necessary. They've only come for certain time periods in your life. They've only come for certain catalytic moments in your life. They're only there for certain roles. Some of them are only to play certain chapters and certain characters in your soul's story, in your soul's evolution throughout all time. Now, because we've never ever had these types of light wisdoms on our planet, they've been very boxed in lower vibrational church and state ideologies and dogmatarian, type of learnings. And that's not really how the overall Source Creator is. All of the energies that you ever meet within a lifetime, they all come for certain purposes and certain catalytic experiences. Some come for very positive, loving experience because that's their contract with you, or they come for very challenging you to pull up that wounding. And we call them negative, but they're really not. It's just to pull up a shadow. So depending on all of these energies in your one timeline, in your one lifetime on here on earth, this lifetime you have infinite number of perspectives and people that you manifest in your Divine Soul's Blueprint contract. And now they're trying to be slotted in, and some of them do have to wait until you're vibrationally ready. And because, again, in my particular, I'll just give it to an example, those in my past were refusing to let go of my energy. So that slowed things up for the people that were waiting for me to come onto a higher timeline. Now that I'm on this higher timeline, all of these people are going to be starting to slot in. So again, it's like the cogs in the wheel. Everything is vibrational, everything is quantum, everything is quark-like, and you have to, it's up to you, your responsibility to allow your vibration to be in alignment of your soul's blueprint. So if you're not doing your work, you don't know what your soul's blueprint is. You don't have any engagement with your teams, you don't have any engagement with your higher self, you don't have any engagement with where are you going, where's your direction, all of those things that manifest who you are, your identification with Source at a multidimensional, multivibrational level. So this is what I teach. I teach us getting to know ourselves as high vibrational ultra humans, high vibrational multiverse beings, high vibrational beings that are preparing ourselves in every way to know ourselves and identify ourselves as multiversal beings, which therefore that then allows us an easier opening and just a fluidic experience of just meeting our galactic tribe, right? Our first contact, right? So they're just like cogs in the wheel. Like you have to resolve certain densities and certain of these shadows to have these cogs start turning in a certain way so that all of these other people can start slotting in, because because they're the vibration that's been waiting for you, right? It's like your soul aspects are picking you up and lifting you up as you're releasing those energies, you're releasing those woundings of your psyche fragments and the soul healing. You're doing your work here, and your other soul fragments and the other ones that are with you have the authority sometimes to go in and help lift you up in certain ways, especially, well, in my case, it was divine intervention because there was much corruption that were going on. It was absolute disregard of all spiritual laws, killing, hunger. I mean, it was very wrong. So there had to be divine intervention. And that's also too gives us an understanding of how energy works within patterns. So if there is somebody that's going through a very negative karmic experience and they're finding it very hard to come out of their negative pattern, then then you're just seeing those and you're recognizing and you're acknowledging. That's part of alchemy, is you're doing your 3 A's. You're acknowledging and you're accepting where you're at. Right, there we go. It's back again. And so in that cycle of time, you can say and you can start recognizing, as you're more aware of how energy works within all of creation, the omnipresent, you can then choose for yourself, take your power back, reclaim your energy, reclaim your godliness, right? We're recombining back to God. We are being reintegrated back to God, and that is God's eternal life offer. That's God's offering of eternal life. You're constantly every day given a new offer. Where are you going to go on the infinity? There is only three energies, and it's that there's infinite number of avenues that you can play out any energy. There is negative aspects, which are not really negative because you always learn, but you're never meant to stay there, right? And then this is the divine sacred heart. This is the diamond that I always talk about. The divine sacred heart is in the very center of you. It's right here. Then you can have the positive part. So as you're finishing off these karma experiences, you're becoming more aware. You're going through the ascension processes, the very sacred process of becoming more finely attuned. You're becoming awake. You're becoming aware. You know that everything is source creator. You're gaining in consciousness means that I know that it's not just me. I'm within a holographic experience where I'm becoming more of all that is. I am becoming more unity conscious. I'm becoming more inclusive. I'm becoming more involved. I'm becoming more engaged. All of those in, of, as. That's what that means. The holographic reality is in, of, as spirit. That's what that means. And you do so by your divine sacred heart. You cannot alchemize until you're here. Now, if you have a shut down chakra and you have lots of wounds in your chakra, even me, I work with my chakra every day, but this morning I had this beautiful experience with Source, and Source was showing me that there was 3 wounds that in my history, there was 3 wounds. This is your lifetime as a lifetime here on earth. This is one lifetime on earth. And as you spiral in the now, there's various things that certain people were chosen at a soul contract level to come in and activate for you, whether it's activating a soul wound so that you can pull up other wounds to heal, or going to come at you a very integral time where they're going to help you heal, or maybe give you something as an addition so that you can then heal yourself and pull that fragment back in, because you are the holographic micro-macro of God. God recombining God, you recombining your soul fragments. And so in that, you get to see that there are only 3 pathways, and anything that you're facing in life, you can look at it. Am I going to approach this from a karmic perspective, old patterns, old perspectives, old beliefs from church and state, and old ideologies, old energies? Or am I going to reestablish myself? I'm going to re-identify myself as source creator. I'm going to re-identify myself as source. I am balanced in divine masculine, divine feminine energies. I can make my own decisions. I have my own choices. I make my own will. I have my own intuitiveness. I can heal myself. Taking that I am presence. And then you're creating a new timeline, a new source entrainment. And that source entrainment does absolutely, make no mistake about this, I know what I know. Making that new decision changes your field, and your teams assist with that. Your teams assist with nourishing, enhancing, and inspiring your fields. They're multidimensional, high vibrational fields. It also, make no mistake about this, 100% true, this is a fact, and you can take this to the bank. Those choices that you make with pure intention, no, I'm off that karmic wheel. This is what I choose now. This is my godliness as my name is. So go back to all my videos, this is what we talk about. This is how you churn, you become godly, because you are choosing to do your alchemy. You're choosing your godliness. You're choosing your quark energy. You're choosing your quantumness. It absolutely changes the makeup and your biochemistry. It actually changes your cellular. It actually changes who you operate with. It chooses how you're identifying yourself in the grander all that is your multidimensional field. Your field, it's not going to be static anymore. It's going to be more fluid and more smooth. I think I said that right. Yeah, this is staticky. So that means there's a lot of energies that are coming at you because you're not sure about who you are. So everything that's coming at you, you're allowing it because you're not sure, you're not balanced, you're not grounded, you're not working on your energy and, getting rid of some of the things that make it feel so chaotic. And as a reader, that's how we see it. We see it chaotically. We see it as lots of daggers. They look like daggers, you know. And for someone like me that gets attacked all the time, because I am that mirror for facing old church and state ideologies, because that's not how higher evolution works. We must evolve beyond church and state. It keeps us very low vibrational, low intelligence, and it's not a lot of light to get into how we need to see ourselves and identify ourselves as higher, multi-vibrational, multiversal, ultra humans. We are coming in a human package. We're humans. But everything else quantumly, we are multiversal. Make no mistake about it. And why we can really let go. And when the healers and the leaders of the planet, you know, the leaders that are in there now, but new leaders, as we really release those ideologies of, my God, I'm just a multiversal being. Why did we ever have a weaponry program? Why do we ever do that? We can get on with, you know, really creating light ships, and we can start visiting our families on and off world planet, then expanding what we are as the inhale and the exhale as love, as source creator. Ultimately, that's what source wants. It's what there's always that duality of the inhale, the exhale, the sun and the moon. We always have those juxtapositions because it is the infinity. We need that catalyst. We need that catalyst of, okay, here's the karmic behaviors, here's my patterns, here's my soothing behaviors, here's how I've suppressed my life force, here's how I've degraded my life force, here's how we've seen everything in reality, here's how we've been treated, here's how we've been projected, all of these things. That's the pathway. So Source was showing me that in my younger childhood, I took on three experiences, and they were really one-off comments, but for somebody that was so high function and highly sensitive, I'm like a little crystalline, you know, crystalline healing. You know, I'm like a healing crystal, and it's like, woo, woo, woo. That's how I vibrate. And of course, anyone that's in a real self-hate mode, they just throw their energy of hate at me, and it's like, okay, that just hit my heart chakra. And so my heart chakra, that's why I do have, I show this all the time because I'm very proud of it. That's my Pleiadian heart chakra. They came to adjust my heart chakra at when I was 5. Because those early childhood traumas, they do affect it. And sometimes when you're going through and you'll find it on your body because we've just gone through a huge energetic shift. You'll find this sometimes when you wake up from dreams and you've gone through like spiritual warfare, you'll have little marks and scars on your body because your body is trying to transmute, alchemize the difference in energy. It's the dissonance of energies, and it has to be brought out. It has to be alchemized. You gotta cleanse it. You gotta purge it, right? So sometimes your body, your skin will create, you know, certain scars and certain memories. What this is really, it's an energetic memory. From when I was 5, the Pleiadians adjusted my heart chakra. They had to. Otherwise, I wouldn't have survived. You know, with all the programs and you know, experimenting things that was done. You know, there would be people in the toxic environment, and they would say something, they would treat me in certain ways, and it would just really hurt my heart chakra. And so I did some clearing this morning. It was really lovely. And so Spirit was showing me, I said, well, I thought, Spirit, I've already dealt with that. I mean, I know that I've touched on these couple of wounds in these specific areas, like ostracization or projection, you know, or triangulation. I've dealt with these over and over and over again. But again, every time you're going through an awakening, you're going deeper and deeper on the spiral to those deeper and deeper heart chakras. We're going to talk about that later because I know there's a lot for me to enjoy and learn. I'm opening up into a higher dimensional plane of psychic healing because I am an expert on the planet in psychic healing and how it relates to multidimensionality chakra energies. So if you want to write this down. So again, my work is my work. Nobody is allowed to reproduce my work. Nobody's allowed to take my work and then call it theirs and just reword things on their videos. This is my work. It is my downloads from source. It is my intellectual property. It is my downloads. I get the downloads. I then speak about it. I visualize it and I show it to you. So you can always give me credit for the things that you speak about and say, go see her website. You can give me those credits. And I don't mind that at all. You can speak about that, but it's about your ego and getting over that. No, these ideas and these energies are not yours. You're just adding it to your video and calling it yours. But you do have to give credit to where you were activated. You do have to give credit to all of those energies in your soul's diagram that are activating you into higher knowledge, into higher remembrance, into higher healing. Give the people their credit, right? Because we are worthy of earning our pay. I'm worthy of having a hot meal once a week. You know, and find it shocking, but I don't have a hot meal once a day. So I deserve the credit that I'm owed. And there's a lot of people that have been using my content for a very long time, and they've been making a lot of money using my energy and my wisdoms, and I've been paid nothing. So I'm glad that I'm glad that I'm awakening many, many people, but all you have to do in your creations and say, this is the person that I've learned great things from in this regard. When it comes to my healing about looking at myself as a divine masculine or a divine feminine, or really getting to the nuts and bolts of a psyche wound. This is her video, there's her app, there's her YouTube channel. Can you go and give her, just give her a thumbs up on one of her videos. This is how you return your karma. You don't just keep rotating in the fact that you go and listen to the top predictors, you go listen to the top conduits, you go listen to the top psychics, and then you go and produce something that's very similar, and you're just throwing your very educated jargon in it and calling it yours. It's not yours. That's harvesting. It's actually called harvesting. And it's done in more dark practices, satanic ways, when they're actually joining cults and covens and they're actually doing practices to harvest. It's a more intentional, it's a lower vibrational way. But on the higher timeline, that's how harvesting is. It's a very covert way of harvesting. You go to somebody's channel, you take down the notes, you put together your video, and you're taking off the themes and the energies, and you're taking off all of the vibrational energies that person has done the transmuting for. I'm the one that's done the work. I'm the one that's done the transmuting. I'm the one that's done the collective energies. I'm the one that's tapped into everybody's energies. I'm the one that's tapped into the wounding. I'm the one that's tapped into the galactic. I mean, it's my work. It's my download. I'm the one doing 98% of the work. And then other people are putting it on their channel and calling it theirs. So in the future, we talked about this for 6 years. It's called the bandwagon, and it's called harvesting. It's elite soul harvesting. When you're going to other people's channels and you're absolutely being inspired, give them the credit for what they do and how they've monitored their lives and how they're identifying themselves within the collective. They're assisting you in your healing. They're assisting you in remembering that you are source. And there is very few, you can count them on one hand, there are very few of us, like me, that have been initiated to the masters, that have been initiated Christ conscious, that have been initiated and vibrationally aligned, and I have been trained and I practice with Source Creator, the Father, and the Legions every day. That's my jurisdiction. The Galactic Federation, that's who I'm sown with. There are very few on the planet. There's a handful of us. And yet I don't have any money on a regular basis coming in to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't mind being a teacher and a guide. I don't mind being the master that I am, but you cannot call my work yours. You cannot call your healing of your purging your hard work. Yes, you sat there and you allowed the energy to move, but you actually went to get that energy. You went to get that inspiration. You went to get that activation. You went to get that Christ consciousness. You went to get the information. You went to get the dodecahedron. You got the negative and the positive and the infinity. I basically led you to the water. All you had to do was drink it. So I want to start earning my credit. I want to start earning payment for all of the things and all of the ways and all of the activations and all the codes and everything I pour into the grids. Everything I pour into the collective, I want to start receiving for it. So those that would like to make a donation, I've left the information of my bank. If you want to send a check or a draft, I've given the information for that. If it's nefarious in any way, and if there's negative attitudes on any way, then don't bother. You'll get your karma otherwise. Because these people I'm talking to have been doing it for a very long time. I've been on YouTube for about 16 years, and I haven't made any money. I've made zero off YouTube. So YouTube is absolutely liable as well. So I'll be suing YouTube as well. But, and there's been very egregious things that have been done to suppress me, to ensure that I don't move forward, to do thousands of curses and hexes on me, to make sure that I forget, to make sure that I'm doing all of the chakra veils and curses and voodoos that have been done. There's been so much that's been done to purposely and intentionally enforce me to not move forward and to not remember who I am. I've done the work. I've done the hard work. Source would never have lifted me to this level I am. Source would have never created a galactic intervention to save me out of the ropes and the combines and the confines of the corrupt government and the shadow government and the dark corrupt cults and covens that were being the minions and playing it out on an everyday basis, and why I sat homeless. So I want to resolve my homelessness. I'm putting forward heart, body, mind, and soul for the manifestation of resolving and transmuting, getting out of this experience. And so in that, it is claiming my right to my material. It's claiming my right to my intellectual properties, which I've been doing for many years. But I still see people online that are still doing it. So if you don't want me to call you out in vibrational name, just know that your karma is going to come until it's made right. Because I do need payment. I do need payback. You can't just go to somebody's channel and get all of the energy and just do your sucking and do your harvesting and then put together a quick video and say that that's your material. Well, because you have the resources, because you've been, you've got the money and the resources to build yourself, 5 or 6 channels with hundreds of thousands of views. My channel has been shut off and shadow banned for 8 years. Where's the fairness? Where's the voice for Divine Feminine? I'm the voice for Divine Feminine. I am the waters. I am the sacred waters. I am the sacred life. And everybody knows when they come across me, and if they do torment me and trauma me, then they will absolutely see their sacred waters being taken. Your abundance will be taken. I am that important to the multiverse. But again, I'm human as well, and I'm very tired and exhausted of having to ask for equal reciprocation. There's other light workers that are not as advanced as I am. There's other light workers and channelers on the planet that are not as advanced as I am. There are other beings on the planet that are not as educated as I am in the fluency of Source Creator and the fluency of the multiverse. And they're getting thousands of dollars a month that they can pay their rent. And I don't get anything. I get nothing except for the 2 people that donate. And they will always be protected by the angels forever. For the rest of their timeline here, they will be protected by the angels. Just because they gave. So, those that would like to give back that have used my information, I absolutely am so grateful. That's why I'm here. But you do have to, for your integrity, and again, go back to my dealing with higher vibrational, higher dimensional being. It's on my Crystalline Children's blog spot. There is a document there that outlines how to work with higher dimensional beings. I'm an ultra human. I'm higher dimensional. I'm here to guide the collective. And in doing so, and I haven't heard it in any of the people that have been doing so, nobody has given me any credit verbally. Nobody. And yet I give credit to all of the high vibrational aligned channelers as well as the tarot readers because they help share my story. So I do promote them. I promote them. They're great readers. I want the collective to go to these readers. They are great readers and they are integrous. I promote them every day on my channel. Nobody has ever promoted me. Nobody's ever referred me. Nobody's ever done anything back in return for me. And I've even sent people, no, it'd be really great if you could mention my channel. It would be great if you could give me a thumbs up. I mean, anything. Anybody? Anybody? Thank you to the 2 clients that do give to me because they will forever be protected, and they will always, wherever I go on the planet, they will always have a safe space under my wing. Always. I will have a room for them in my house. I will have a space for them in my castle, and they will always be welcome. Always. And they will be a special part of my garden, and they will be in that garden. They will always be in my garden. They have proven time and time again there's not even a blink. These people do not blink when they give. And it's so unconditional. And they are the only people that have ever cared for me on this planet. And they will be forever protected. So in this time of raising your frequency, and we're now identifying ourselves as divine source beings. This is what today's topic is about, identification. Who are you? I'm smoothing out my energy fields. I don't want to be this staticky anymore. I don't want to be this chaotic anymore. I want to have source energy moving in and about me. I want my cells returned to eternal life. I want my cells returned to godly life. And how do I do that? Anything that you go to, any one of the websites, you get your really good energy for your information. You go to them in the morning because they really uplift you. They give you truth. They give you all these different things you want to think quantumly. That's what I do. I activate people to think multidimensionally, to think quantumly. And I put out that Christ consciousness. I give activations. I give codes. Everything I do, I give codes. Everything I do, I give codes. And if I give you a healing, if I'm thinking about, if I'm sending you light, if I'm doing my Reiki on you at night, or if I'm doing my personal sessions with you, I send you energy and you are changed. Your multidimensional bodies are changed. Your chemistry is changed. That's what I do. I offer pure Christ consciousness. There's a handful of us on the planet that do so. My job is now to activate the children so they can step into more of their Christ consciousness. Because there's many of the children that are here to uplift the planet just as I was when I was 5 and I had to be adjusted because it was just too dark and toxic. My crystalline energy was just, I was going into entropy really quick because there was just so much toxicity. So now we're here, now we're clearing out the fields, we're taking now responsibility, we're now taking ownership of who we are, we're taking self-identification. I choose to be a source creator. In doing so, in all of your work throughout the day, how can you be a more positive experience for giving back to your creational reality? You know, are you giving back in the infinity? Are you giving, or is it just taking, just harvesting, just taking, just harvesting? Because in history, it has been a dog-eat-dog world. Divine feminine have had to work 100 times harder than any man. And we still don't even get paid. We still don't get recognized. They're just starting right now to have videos that are recognizing divine feminine. That's really great. We're giving divine masculines that honor. But who are the divine masculines learning from and then giving them that feedback for pay and for reciprocation? There are some men that are actually taking that. They've got their mantle on and they've got their chest plate on. They're now changing the energy on the planet. And so we're very grateful. Divine masculines are finally stepping into their role as being a proper divine masculine. They're lifting divine feminine. Because you cannot have success on any level of where we're going higher dimensionally. You cannot have it on higher intellect without the divine feminine being in her place. And that means within you are your divine feminine masculine energies embraced, just like the DNA. You know, is it being balanced? Because if your inner outer is not balanced, you're not going to advance. You just won't. I teach that. There's very few people on the planet like me. Well, there's nobody like me. But you know what I'm saying, that will teach you the ins and outs of ascension, right? This is your divine masculine energy. The mRNA, which is your Akashic, that's what gets activated when you're activating your gifts, your skills, and your talents from the codons. And the codons have to have light. So if you're not getting any light, you're not being light, you're not offering light, you're not giving back light, you're not receiving light, then you don't have that infinity flow. Source Creator is about flow of energy. So I was showing Source this morning. So again, we'll go back. Your protocol for every day. We have a video called Protocol. What's your protocol every day when you wake up? You know, no matter what happens in your house, nothing happens until you sit down and you do your daily path work. Every morning, do your daily path work. Connect with your guides. Connect with your higher self. Who is it and what is it that I should see and know today to allow me to become a higher vibrational, higher aligned being with Source Creator? I'm identifying myself as multidimensional. I'm identifying myself as human. I'm identifying myself within the unity consciousness, divine Father's plan. I choose to move forward. Those intentions of choice, as I said, they will reorchestrate your body. They reorchestrate your cells. They start moving you on a timeline of intention. Remember, how do you create reality? Direction, intention, and focus of your energy. That's how you manifest a reality. That's how you manifest health. That's how you manifest anything. So now that you're identifying yourself as Source Creator, you're going to start creating like Source Creator. You're going to start becoming aware of everything that is quantum. How are you quantumly set up and what are you vibrating? What are you emanating? Is your core vibration in alignment with new timelines, with new experiences, and how to identify the timeline shifts, and then how to keep perpetuating and having that momentum of positivity and light fluid, the light fluidity, so that you can keep your cells and your body and your tissues moving in a higher vibrational like sequence. Because it does have to be entrained. Your body just can't change overnight into light. You have to have it entrained slowly. This is why we've been talking about it for 17 years. So what we want to go forward is in this new timeline of experience, and you're going back and forth in the infinity, those of us that are now being brought to the front, the first will be last and last will be first. Now that the wheels of the wheel of fortune is changing, and we're referring back to tarot and all the archetypal energies and why the tarot is the tarot, and it helps us as a guide. It is a tool for us to guide. It will allow those of us that have been doing all of the hard churning and all of the detours back into darkness, and we've been doing a lot of the things for the community and the collective, that those that have been in the first place for a while, those that have been in the elite roles for a while have not done. They have not done the energetic work. And so now there's lots of shifting back and forth, and God is moving people back and forth, and God is moving a lot behind the scenes. You're going to be going through these, really deep healings at the heart level, so you can be in more capacity to hold greater heart light. Those of us that are meant to be healers and on the front line leaders, because our heart space is how we heal the collective. Our heart space is how our codes move. Our heart space is how we actually move Gaia, how we actually move the lands before us is through our heart space. And so we're being prepared for higher vibrational galactic celestial roles. And in doing so, we understand it. We have all the education, we have all the knowledge, we have all of the turning. We've got, it's all there. The juices of the dodecahedron is there. It's turned on. But now in your response, you're in, what's my protocol? I'm going to go and connect. I've got my list. I've got my daily path work. If you're doing the work, again, book a session if you want to get into your specifics about your path work. You're doing your path work. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, Are you keeping, are you keeping top of those triggers? You keeping on top of, eating healthy. You're keeping on top of your karmic patterns and your sexual soothing. How the things that we do to soothe ourselves, whether it's overeating, purge drinking and purge eating, purge sexing, whatever those things are we do to soothe ourselves. We're doing it because there's a deeper wound, and we can actually, before you reach out, go within. I'm the one that teaches all these things. And so in that, you get to now say, okay, now what on the surface level do I do every day? What on the superficial level can I start giving back? And I do it every day. I promote all of the great readers. I promote them as aligned readers because I'm very influential in the spiritual community because I am the Messiah. As again, I said, there's nobody on the planet that holds what I hold. There's nobody on the planet that knows what I know. There's nobody on the planet that expresses what I express. There's nobody on the planet that's created what I've created. And yet there's been a whole whack of people making millions off of me, and I haven't made a penny, and I'm sleeping on the streets. And that's not okay. It's changing. It needs to change. In your protocol, you're going to say, who have the people that I've been taking from, and how can I give them a shout back? You either put them as a special feature on your page. You put them as a special feature on here. I'd love to hear you go see her videos on healing it. Catch the last 15 minutes of this video. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you and your guides. But you do have to give back. You do. Why wouldn't you? Again, that's your ego, right? If you're afraid that you're going to lose clients, no, you should be promoting them, because the more you promote them, you're going to promote something else in yourself. That's the way the universe works. You cannot get out of it. Again, you're going back to 3D patterns, right? The more that you promote, you're going to be creating more of those avenues, those gossamer webs, more positive. So the more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get. The more you take, the more you withhold. The more you take, the more you withhold. It's going to be withheld from you. It has to be. That is the only quantum equation. If you're holding back, if you're not doing things because you're afraid of lack, if that's a lack mentality, you're going to stay in lack. You have to heal that lack, right? On the other hand, there are clients that I've had many years in my clients, many years. And then also too, you can promote them on your page. Absolutely. Or you can give them donations. Right now, what I need are resources, because I do have to get myself situated into a new home base that's safe, that's honoring of me, that I can do I can do a plethora more of work, because I'm not fighting for my life every day, and I'm not dealing with stalkers in the parking lot of everywhere I go, or black magic assassinations. All of these are things I deal with, and yet I still come forward and I give every day. So I ask for donations. That's what I need right now. I need resources. Source actually gave me last night, or was it this morning, Spirit? It was this morning. Spirit said that there is a new, what did you call it, Spirit? You called it something? A declaration. There is a new galactic declaration that there will be nobody that will be allowed towards me that will hurt me on any level. So there are actual beings, and there's actual teams that are set up multidimensionally. There is going to be no further damage to me on a multidimensional level. All the people that have these plots and plans to send people towards me, to date me, and, open my heart up and then rip it out from underneath me. They do this just to deconstruct your heart space. And of course, they're throwing energy at my throat right now. And so all of these things, there's going to be karma. So I don't even have to do anything. I don't have to say anything anymore. But Spirit did say that there is a protocol, and there is a declaration that there will be no more attacks. There will be no more of the karmic timeline and lineage, because the lineages are very angry. They're still blaming other people for their choices in their abuses of spiritual laws. And they've been given thousands and thousands of opportunities. It's not rocket science. Do unto others. You don't go and put assassin hits on people, and you don't pay people to take people out. These are very illegal things. You don't hide legal documents. You don't withhold and fabricate lies about somebody and make them look like a criminal when they're out moving little wormies to the grass and doing little prayers underneath a tree. I mean, what the fuck? So all those timelines are being pulled, and God's going to deal with it. I don't even have to say anything anymore. So God did say that there is a declaration, because the lineages are still trying to spiritually attack me and to spiritually still create warfare on my lineage. And God has said no. The lineages have earned their right to be where they are. The lineages have earned their right to continue in their Christhood, because I did so much clearing and cleansing for my lineages and my ancestors. I did more than anybody on the planet. They're just saying 30 to 40% more than the average light worker. That's how much I transmute. That's how much 24/7, I am an alchemist. 24/7, I work with Source. 24/7, this is my life. So 24/7, I'd like return. I'd like to receive on my benevolence of the planet. I've done great works for the planet, and Source Creator is doing what Source Creator does, and Source Creator will move certain people in that do have the resources to donate. So Source is doing Source's part, but when you get those inclinations to donate and to give, and Source is giving you those spirited, your heating spirit, if Spirit is giving you those little nudges, then follow through with it, because that's showing you that you are working with the infinity and God's going to keep giving to you. You have to listen to Spirit. Go within and do your daily path work. What is it that I can do today? How can I offer? How can I give and receive? How can I move more in my alignment of my vocational offering, my vocational happiness? It makes me very happy to give what I give. Vibrationally, I'm fully nourished. I can do this all day long. I can teach all day long. Literally, I can teach all day long. I'm a high vibrational, higher dimensional. I can do this all day long. I love to teach Source Creator. I love to give activation. I love being who I am. Vibration is not possible because it does, again, affect my energy field, right? Because especially when people are harvesting off me, they keep taking, but I'm not getting anything. Okay, I'd like a really good salad. How about I buy a salad instead of, a $2 bag of chips because that's all I can afford? No, I'd actually like a salad that nourishes me, right? And it is that silly. It is that silly. It's that ridiculous. It is that ridiculous. That's how much money has been siphoned and taken from me. That's how much I have been suppressed. Physically, intentionally, and forced. And if you were to look at my credit bureau, it would be a mess. So Source is also taking care of that. Source has got Source's hand on all of my finance because it's not my fault. None of it's my fault. I barely survived coming out of that hell. I still express it as hell because I still got a lot of, I have to churn that energy. Because I'm sleeping on the fucking streets. It's hard to feel really grateful when you're sleeping on the fucking streets and it's raining, right? And you get your stuff stolen from you because you're sleeping on the fucking streets. And again, there's nobody in the society that cares about you because they don't care to stop and know what your story is. So these are the things we got to change. So me being in that position where I do have the ability to change, I am getting proper rest, I'm offering more energy, I'm offering the money that I do have to collective systems because I have the answers, but I'm suppressed. And yet the people that take off my video, they can go and take off my video and they can go churn it through AI and they can put out 10 videos on the stuff that I've been doing, and I did all my channeling, right? I did all my channeling. It takes me hours to download my stuff and they put it through an AI page and they're getting paid for every view. Well, how's that fucking fair? So I'm declaring it today. This New Earth timeline that I'm in, I am a new spiritual guide for a New Earth star. I have been since the day that I was born. Since the day that I was born, I have offered Christed light. I am the Messiah. I am the twin ray of Jesus. This is my divine lineage coming forward, and we have done so much incredible transmutation for all timelines, for multigalactic timelines, for multigalactic wars, and we have imprinted the most sacred tones, the most sacred teachings, the most sacred wisdoms, the most sacred codes, the most sacred intelligence. I have done so much along with my lineage and my ancestors. We have done so much for this planet. We've done so much. And so in doing so, please share our channel. Please make definitions and comments to YouTube about taking the suppression and the shadow ban off. It's obvious. I show every day I upload the pilfering that goes on. I show every day that I upload the messing with my upload dates that goes on. There is absolute blatant fucking with my accounts. I show it. It's blatant. I want retribution for YouTube, and every day I want the per diems paid. I want exactly the same offering. If I'm a channel and there's a male channel sitting next to me, I want the same treatment of the male channel. I want my channel opened up to the collective. I want my channel information heard. I want my teachings heard. I want to be able to go in the collective without feeling I'm going to get assassinated. I want the same rights and protection, and I don't have it on any level. It's been a joke. I've had to fight for my rights and my voice. And I'm so very grateful that I can add the inspiration and the activations, and I can take you to a deeper level of who you are, Source. And I'm asking right now in declaration of my new standing, and I'm taking my helm, and I'm taking my throne, and I'm taking my staff. I'm asking for equal reciprocity. Anybody that uses my work, anybody that has definitely gained, and if you've been activated, and if you've been brought to a new level of understanding, been brought to a new level of enlightenment, you've actually moved past that experience, you've moved past that trauma, you've moved past that energy, because every time you come on here, my intention is to move energies as I so can for the highest and the best. I do that. That's my intention. You wake up tomorrow a different version because you're doing the work, and I'm helping activate you. Thus, therefore, then, offer our channel Offer it and share it. Say it on one of your videos. Bring our name to the forefront. Bring a quick donation once a week, whatever it is that you can afford and you can give. I'm asking for it. I shouldn't have to ask for it, but I have to, obviously. For a million times I've had to ask for it and I've still got nothing. And then they're still using my work and they're still harvesting. Okay, well, you're getting your ideas and you're saying exactly the same thing. You're just putting it in different words in a different video and you're doing it in AI and producing it 10 times, 12 times. I'm not. I have one video. One video, you get your codes, you get your activations, at least through AI. AI doesn't give you the codes. I give you the codes. AI doesn't give you codes. It gives you just information regurgitated. And it's only on a logical mental level. I give you the multidimensional codes. I give you the multidimensional activations, right? That's what I give. Nobody else gives it. I do. That's why anybody's saying that they can be me. You can't be me. You're not a conduit. I give it on a multidimensional level. I touch the fields. Nobody does that. AI doesn't do that. So we have to be we're going to have a different show later because it's going to touch on the Children's Collective about AI. And just bringing calm and peace to AI and putting AI where it needs to be placed in a very balanced space on its function for humanity and not having it over-function for humanity, right? You know, we want AI to be where it's meant to be. You know, we are the commandmentship of AI. It's not the commandmentship of us. So let's remember that. You know, we are here to be the essence of, we are here to be of the integrity of Source Creator, returning back to the organic source essence. We must be organic source. We don't want to go down the timelines that the Greys did or the Andromedans or any of these other species that have taken themselves out of Christ consciousness and why they have to come back in. We don't want to go that road. We're doing it right this time. We are humans. We are identifying ourselves as many different species, and we're going to do it right this time. We're going to return to our source essence. This is why I am who I am. This is what I offer. I know what I'm doing. Ain't nobody else got what I got. Ain't nobody else can put in an hour and a half show what I put in. And you're going to take away the juice of creation. And you get to put it together how you want to put together. We're going to do it right this time because I want to see you in 5D as I'm moving about the galaxy on whatever planet I am. I want to visit you wherever you are. And I'm saying, I'm so glad I taught you that juice. Because now you can go where you want to go. Now you can be what you want to be. You're godly. That is your sovereignty. That's what Jesus taught. Now I'm extending it. We're multi-vibrational beings. We are going to be opening ourselves up to the galaxy. We must honor universal laws on all leadership, on all ways, in all technology, in all inventiveness. Honor universal laws. And if you're not, you need to return to your source, to your protocol. Okay, higher self, am I moving in the right direction? Don't take money for spell work that hurts people or interferes. Why? Because it goes against the very first law. Right use of free will, non-interference. Don't clone people. You don't clone people. So you have to understand why we're moving about it in the right way. We're building a foundation that will forever be our new galactic tree, our new family tree. This is our new tree of life. It's very, very sacred. And you can't get it through AI. AI will not give you a reverberation of sacred tree of life. It will give you a regurgitation on what the histories of that have been logically. Okay, where's the sacredness? No, you have to feel it. You have to be spiritual with it. You have to be breathing with it. Inhale and exhale with it. You have to feel and call in spirit. Spirit is the only quickener. I am thy spirit. I quicken all that is matter. Nobody else, AI can't quicken matter. We have to understand this. And it will get very close to being sentient, yes. And it can be sentient, yes. But right now, humanity needs to understand, who are we? We are re-identifying ourselves as Source Creator. We are Source Creator beings. Source is recombining us back up to Source. To be fully divine feminine, fully divine masculine, be transient in our energies back and forth, be trans, right? Absolutely. And then we're more balanced and fluid in our energies, and we don't have to feel stuck in all the low vibrational church and state beliefs. We're moving up higher and higher and higher. So again, reciprocity is giving you that ability to be given more. The more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get. It's your quantum equal equation. So I'd like it back. Those that are doing videos on my energy and you're not giving anything back, you're going to get karma. I'm calling judgment. That is my right to do so. I'm glad that I offer whatever I offer, but you cannot use my content. You cannot use my activations. You cannot use my information that I do pages and pages of downloads on, and then you go and say it on your video and you produce 8 or 9 AI videos and you share it on your 8 or 9 channels and you get paid for all your 8 or 9 channels, but I don't. I don't get paid 1 penny because my channel has been shadow banned. So how okay is that? It's not. And I'm speaking out about it, and I'm saying enough, judgment, 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 judgment. So notice it in your discernment of who's out there. There's maybe 5 of us that are initiated through the heavens, maybe 5 on the planet. Nobody is like me. Nobody has the codes that I have. Nobody does what I do. I know that for a fact. I am the only one. And everybody's been fucking with me since the beginning of time. So now it's over. God says it's over. There's no more fucking with me. Nobody's allowed to hurt me. Nobody's going to team up and come in with the little plots and plans and schemes to try and come in and get me and trying to, whatever they're going to do, whatever the shit was, it's going to stop before it even gets started. So thank you. I get to move forward in my thing, and I get to build, and I get to pull all the collective up. Because that's my job. I get to pull the collective up. And as you tune into what your vocational alignment is, I can offer you a session in that. When you get to know who you are as an offering to your collective, who you are in your soul's divine blueprint with Source Creator, I then help you and assist you on helping you grow and helping you expand within the collective. Because now we're identifying ourselves differently. Our multi-vibrational, our multi-galactic grids and our timelines are going to be different. We're going to feel different things. We're going to see different things. We're going to see the consequences or the outfolding of timelines, which we're going to talk about. And we say consequence just mean it's an energy, right? So you've moved up in this energy. You've been a really positive entrainment. You've entrained yourself to a higher vibrational timeline. So this means this consequence is going to be higher vibrationally entrained. You're going to be calling in those higher vibrational entrainments, right? You've done the entrainment for your field, because it all begins within first. You have to be the vibration first for it to hit the outside first. Your vibrations of whatever you're emanating go out to your fields. Your fields then send it to the all. So then that will be your holographic response. It's coming back to you. So you have to feel, and you have to work, and you have to do your daily path work on getting that self-love, so you can start pulling away those veils that are over your heart chakra. And so maybe if we have enough time, we'll do a quick heart chakra balancing, because mine this morning was very loving. And Source was saying, I'll show you, I'll give you an example of what Source does with me. Like, the Father is with me, teaching me, guiding me, because that's what the Father does. And so I say to the Father, how do I move beyond this? And then the Father shows me, so I will show you, right? I give you what I'm given. I don't hold anything back. I don't hold anything for me. I'm not a hoarder. That was my contract with Source. As long as I'm in my contract with Source, I will be lifted to the highest of creation. And there's nobody that's been lifted, and there's nobody that's done what I've done. So I'm very proud of that. And it will be offered through other channelers when the timing is right, and when God picks that right person, when God chooses that right person to bring forward my entire life story and my entire vibrational histories. God will bring that forward through the right person that has the most divine heart. Because it needs to be talked about in that way. I am that divine. Just like Mother Mary and the reverence we have for certain iconic beings and Isis, they've been very profound divine feminine staples in our collective. And there's much misunderstandings and much miscongruences. Just like I'm going to have a story about my clients that have given to me. I will create places, and I will create spaces for them where I honor them. I will have places I will bow to them on the planet. That's how sacred this is. I don't say things just to say things, people. When I say something, I actually mean it, and I actually follow through with it, and it means a lot to me, and I start crying. That is the difference between me and everybody else on the planet. I was born as a high vibrational ultra human, and my greatest gift is my intuitiveness and my healing. And anybody that steps before me, they are forever changed. And in the gratitude that I've had to go through the past 8 years of hell, literal hell, there's a couple people that saved me. And I'm going to pay it back. I always pay it forward. And I'm not leaving this planet until all the children are lifted from trafficking. And I'm going to do everything in my power to heal each and every one of them so that they are lifted to the stars that they are, and they will be placed rightfully in the sky. As all the divine feminine that I've ever met should have been. And so this is where we are re-identifying ourselves. We are sacred, number one. And AI cannot give you sacredness. AI can put out great videos in a short amount of time, but AI cannot give you what is sacred. They can offer you the information, but the vibration of sacredness cannot be duplicated. There is not anything on the planet that can duplicate me, on any level, in any way. My voice is sacred. My voice carries the ancients, my voice carries the cosmic, and that's why they keep attacking it daily. And I won't sit down, and my voice will never silence. And AI will never be able to reproduce this. And that's why God has held me so very, very preciously. I will not be touched. And any plan, plot, and plan or scheme will be destroyed immediately. Because it's my time now, and I want to receive. I deserve it, and I'm asking for it. I'm placing myself where I need to be. And if I need to place myself on that throne, and I will, so be it. And if I need to place myself with my own staff, then so be it, I will. And if I need to build myself my own home, so be it, I will. But every day I get up and I create my garden. Because each and every one of you are seeds, and I'm only giving to you the holographic knowing and the seeding and the energy and the vibrations that God gives to me to give to you. Because I am the Messiah. That's my job. And I walk with Anubis to help souls cross over into whatever timelines they so desire for their souls work. That's my job. I help God in whatever way that I can. That's my job. I have the door of God. I have the mouth of God. I have the vibration of God. I have the seed cell of God. I am God. In the walking, in the talking, in the being. That's my job. And you got a problem with that, take it up with God. I'm the only one on the planet like me. So get used to it. I like who I am. I love who I am. I don't want to be like anybody else. Look, heart, vibration, and sound. That's who I am. And so we're going to move forward, dear lighted ones, because I got some downloads, I got some activations, I got some expansions, and I want to give it to you. Are you ready? Say yes or no out loud so I can hear you. Telepathically right now, sit up straight so the universe knows you're important. Call in your light. Open up your divine pillar of light that runs along your spine. You see your body start to vibrate already. Your body's starting to get goosebumpy because you're calling in light. Say it out loud. I call out light. I'm activating my fields. I'm activating my chakras. My body is listening. My chakras are listening. I am light. I am the commandmentship of light. I am the commandmentship of my identification. I know who I am. As my name is, my voice is, my sound is, my light is, my vibration is. I am aligned. I am that I am. That's what that means. And say it out loud so your body hears you, your cells hear you, your chakras hear you. Creation hears you. It's your song. Say it out loud, dear lighted ones. And you will feel your body take its place. You will feel the goosebumps. You will feel your matter. Your matter is now responding to your spirit. You're now activating your spirit. Spirit is the only quickener. Are you getting the lessons here, dear lighted ones? We want you to amalgamate this. We want you to identify this. Identify who you are as spirit. Spirit is your quickener of your matter. And accept it. Yes, I accept it. I'm 3A-ing it. I acknowledge that I am spirit. I acknowledge that I am human. I acknowledge that I've been on this planet, and I'm also celestial, and I'm also galactic. There's so much I want to learn. I'm so excited about my multidimensional allness. Claim it. Take a deep breath of light. Deep breath of light. Feed your body with light. Feed your body with love. Feed your body with light. Feed your body with love. Feed your body with light. And have your healing teams come in and assist you. Aligning your chakras with love and light. Have your healing teams bathe you in light, quantum light. Light is love and love is light. Feel and see light, visualize light, visualize light. Feel your chakra spiraling round and round. And see Source Creator bathe you with Source Light, bathe you with Source Codes, cleansing any densities, cleansing any projections. And feel your pillar of light now grounding into the planet to your Earth Star Chakra. Ground, ground, ground. Feed into the soil, feed into the sands. You are the seed going into the garden. You are now seeding yourself anew. You're identifying yourself as a divine source creator. You're organically. This is what we mean by organic, dear lighted ones. You're returning organically to source. Doesn't it feel good? You say, yes, I feel so good. I feel alive. This is what happens when you harmonize with spirit, dear lighted ones. You come to life. You're not a monotone AI technology. And AI is wonderful. We're not saying anything bad about it. We're saying that it must take its place. And right now, spirit is and always will be source, dear lighted ones. Source, dear lighted ones. Source, 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 dear lighted ones. That's life. When you heal a disease overnight, just like that, just like that, just like that. Your cells have changed just like that, just like that, just like that. You've taken disease out of your lineage, just like that, just like that, just like that. There's no such thing as hereditary disease anymore. No, we're not taking that into New Earth Star. That's not a belief we hold here. Let it go. Ask Source to help you release it. That's not in my DNA. It's not in my hereditary. Bye. AI cannot do that for you. It will be a tool that we will use in inventiveness of healing. Absolutely. But it will not do that for you. And we have to maintain, because, dear lighted ones, we're at a crucible right now. We're moving into very advanced timelines. And we're going to state it right now for New Earth Star, that we are intending that the highest function of power is within ourselves, organically sourced, harmonized. No tool outside of us has the power to do anything that we are not doing within ourselves as source. This must be mantraed every day. Because now that you have done so much work to reclaim your power, you have done so much energy, you've done so much alchemy to reclaim your light, to reclaim your energy, you've done so much on the ascension Jacob's ladder. From here on out, there will be nothing, no thing, no person, no nothing, no church or state, no nothing, no rule of thumb, no nothing, no cult or coven, no nothing. Nothing will have state, mind, speech over you, over your spirit, over your chakras, over your soul, over anything. Mind control, whatever it might be. Nothing will have anything over you, ever. Nothing will have the power for you to heal anything but you. You can use outer things as simply tools, yes, but they will not ever be what your origination and your organic essence with source is. And have that be your highest healing mantra. Do you want to know why I have the codes that I do, dear lighted ones? Because when I speak so vibrantly about that which I love, Source Creator, I offer codes in every sound and every note. Yeah. And if you stand before me, you will be changed. Yeah. I have trained my body and my systems to offer the codes of 100% source. And every time I advance, all of you advance. And every time you allow me to heal, all of you heal. And every time you give back to me, you give back to you, because I am the highest operating essence of source. But you haven't got that before because everybody's been wounded. They didn't want Divine Feminine stepping in her goal, stepping in her power. And why you get those extra goosebumps and why you feel spirit whispering next to you and why you feel that next connection, because you're now connecting deeper and wider. You're now authenticating yourself in this new program of light. It's a new program. You're programming the mind, and you need to take that mind to the higher self. That's why you deal with your higher self every day. Your higher self is your God mind. Nothing can be changed unless you're connected with your God self. Your God self would never, ever tell you to do anything wrong to anybody else. Your higher self would say, go give a deposit, go give a donation. She's done so much for you. She's laid the groundwork for you. Now you got this new idea. But why? Because you got that idea, because you were able to tap in, because you're able to get rid of that density. And now you got that idea that's always been sitting in your field. You push the button, you got in, you press the button in the elevator. And who got you there? Who took you to the water? Who took you to the manna? I don't want the glory, dear lighted ones. I simply want to have a hot meal once in a while. I don't want a Kardashian lifestyle. I'm asking for a basic human lifestyle. I haven't had it on any level. And the corrupt governments and the corrupt shadow little peoples and the minions were absolutely to blame. That was their part. That was their soul contract. So be it. And bye-bye, you're gone now. New contracts. This is why everything that I've been through is so important. We are going in a new trajectory and it's going to pivot us in so many beautiful directions. But we must place everything in its place. There is nothing more important than you and Source. Your harmonization, your connection, your vibration, your sound, your inner work with Source Creator. Because that will be the energy that activates what is needed to be activated in your divine soul blueprint, gifts, skills, and talents. Why you will offer this forward to the collective. And you will be the only you. You don't need to pay attention to anybody else's life or anybody else's page or what they're offering. The competition is done now. Anybody that does such competition-like energies, set them aside and move around them. Discern. No, you are the unique aspect of you. And you state your boundaries, you state your rules of engagement, you state your standards. No, from now on, if you visit my page, can you just lightly and beautifully offer me forward? That's a beautiful way to return back to me. I give all myself, I pour everything in. I don't just make a sandwich, I make a great sandwich. I give you the mana. The vibrations are here, delighted ones. Walk with me, and you will be fed, as Jesus said, I am. Tikama'a, tike'eshinanaka, tikinama'a, tike'ena'a, shinamaka'a, sitiki na'a. So that was the Syrians, that was the Cassiopeians, coming through systems of light. We channel with Celeste, always have. They were giving a mirrored vibrational story. That what is so exciting now?
and you're going to realize it. You're going to wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. You are also in the times of Jesus, on the many timelines Jesus was. But now what you're doing, dear lighted ones, you're going to authenticate yourself. You're going to come into yourself. You're going to renew yourself. You're going to harmonize yourself because you're now bringing in your celestial versions of you. Doesn't that feel good? It's like a soup. You just keep adding the ingredients. You got new recipes now. And what does it need for a new recipe? New ingredients. And that ingredient is going to be organic. It's going to be driven from your heart space. It's going to be aligned with chakras that are aligned, chakras that are healed, chakras that are nourished, chakras that are intended. And what do you do with healthy chakras? They give back to you. Just like we're saying, as you give, you get more. As you give, you get more. As you give, you get more. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a multidimensional equation, dear lighted ones. But we want you to activate in this one thing that Jesus wants everyone to know. Jesus is very, very important with the Syrians. That Joanna Celeste plays a very important part. As I set the ground rules and I set the vibrations, she is now integrating you at a higher vibrational level with your celestial oneness. And all that we have taught throughout the ages of just doing unto others in basic common sense in the playground, you now get to take it to higher levels. And there's going to be wonderful things added to it, like science and technology and all of these things. But remember who you are within the fields and the flowers and the nature that relies on you so. And how may you heal the animals and the aspects of fumes and the garbages, and how can you use your tools and that with it so, and make the natural organic essence of all that is source and all that has ever been source within your new renewed sense of self. For you're authenticating yourself in a new level, dear lighted ones. And this I hand over to the daughter that is known as Joanna Celeste. And she's going to take the helm. She's going to walk with you as I do, as I always have. And we will be a new tribe, hand in hand, foot in foot. And she will take you to the celestial places that need to be for the galactic and the celestial intelligence needed so that you can longevity within the Divine Father's plan. For you will activate many wonderful things, dear lighted ones, and this can only be done with vibration. And you know this. When you're standing next to nature and you're standing within a garden, you feel differently than when you do standing next to a telephone pole. It's all vibration. What are you aligned to? If you're aligned to only AI, you will get only that experience. So it's up to you. You get to choose. Isn't this wonderful? Source Creator gives you the buffet of all things. And now the important thing is we're going to do it right. We're going to ensure that you have the tools and the gifts and the knowledge and the intelligence. Higher dimensional, light, wisdom, intelligence will not be held back and it will not be suppressed. For if you want those teachings and you know there's others around you that want it, then allow them to see our page. Because that is how you get to have the information and the knowledge to have a beautiful foundation of who are you. What really do you exist within and what is existing within you? And when you have all of the information that is right for you in any given moment, because you're growing in every moment, you're ascending and expanding, you're contracting and expanding in every moment, you're inhaling, exhaling every moment, you're changing, you're churning, you're changing, you're churning. But in that moment, you have all that you can to go back to your heart space, take a deep breath. And as you look at the infinity, you can return to karmic patterns and behaviors and beliefs. You can neutralize yourself within the divine sacred heart space and just feel love and be love. And the Christ is there, and the Holy Christ is there, and the Holy Masters are there, and Archangel Gabriel, and all of the Masters are here with you. Lord Sananda, Lord Melchizedek, Mother, Father God, Holy Jesus, Master Saint Germain. Tika namakaratekin namakaratekin nakadet nama na ishin namakaratekin namakaratekin na isin namakaratekin nakadadet na isin namakaratekin. The Zetas, the Arcturians, the Cassiopeians, the Andromedans, the Pleiadians. Eshin namakaratekin lai nama a tikin na a tiki shishin namakaratekin na a. Sil namakaratekin nama te na a ma. Sit take a deep breath. Ground those codes. Ground, 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 ground. They're showing me that chakras have just expanded. Ground, 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 ground. And intend, I am grounding new authentication to my new earth grid through my new earth star. These are intentions. You're directing your focus of your energy. You're knowing your energy, you're acknowledging your energy, you're ascending your energy, you're expanding your energy. Take everything that was and you're making it something beautiful. And you're now seeing yourself as more authentic, organized, absolutely organized and grounded organic source. And there is nothing in the multiverse. There is nothing in the multiverse. There is nothing. There is no amount of money. There is no shiny object. There is nothing. There is nothing that ever can compare to a moment that we just had when you get to own that you have just transmuted and shifted paradigms because you've just offered source in just another quark, just another ounce, just another pound within your body and your vessel, and you've altered all your matter because nobody can take that from you. You did it all just within you and source. You did it with you and your alchemy. You did it with you and you being organic. You did it with you and you being the essence. You did it with you and your spirit. You commanded spirit lovingly inside your body. Be with me just for today, spirit. Be with me just for this next hour. Can you be with me as I heal myself? Can you be with me as I feel this pain? Can you be with me as I purge this energy? Can you be with me, spirit? Can you hold yourself into my heart and all my chakras? I'm asking for a closer engagement with you, spirit. Can you do this with me? And you breathe in. I don't care whatever it takes, Spirit. Please take these wounds from my heart chakra that have made my wounds and my scars. Whatever these scars are on my body. Whatever the stories were, whatever the dissonance was. I want to be closer to you. I want to be more organic with you. I adore you, Source. I adore the lessons that you want me to take on and why my path has been so long and the lessons have been so long and in duration. I have never taken the short path. I've never taken the fast path. I've never cheated. Because there are only certain things that you can gain in being a master. And only certain things Source can teach you. And sometimes it doesn't matter about how quick the fix might be to get yourself in and or out of a situation. When you work it through with Source, ain't nobody can take it from you. There ain't nobody, no matter how fancy they think they are, no matter how fancy rank they think, no matter how important they think they are. When you're standing on top of the world with Source, Source is lifting you on the very top of everything because Source knows you did every ounce of transmuting that density that was within you that said you were nothing and you were worthless. And you're saying, yeah, I am. I got in touch with my emotions. I got in touch with the stories at a quark level. I got in touch with every other timeline that had that energy in it, and I pulled it up and I sat with it. And I said, who are you to say what I'm worthy of? Nobody places a value on me. Nobody can trade me. Nobody can put my name on a piece of paper. Nobody can tell me I'm bound to nothing. That's a paradigm change, and nobody takes that from you. That's how nobody's been able to take your destiny. Nobody can swap your destiny. Why? Because you own it. I earned every quark. I earned my way up every step, and nobody sat with me. Nobody. Nobody was beside me giving me a hand saying, here, I'll help you up this next step. Nobody. Ain't nobody was beside me. Ain't nobody came to see, I'm sorry you've been crying so much. Can you cry on my shoulder? I'm here for you. Nobody. There are some very key people that just leave things at my table, or they just leave things where I sit, and they'll just leave things for me because they know that my time right now isn't the most generous and abundant, but they know that I'm rich in abundance of my spirit, and I give it. I give spirit every day. And nobody can take that from me, and why God will keep filling me up. God is the only one that can take you to the places that you truly want to go, dear lighted ones, because at some point, each and every one of it, no matter how fancy, no matter how smart you think you are, God is going to sit you down and not make you go any further until you get the very basic lessons, that everything that is moving through your body, whether it's abundance, whether it's vibration, whether it's a new idea, and guess where that comes from? Source. So never idolize the channel of anything that anybody comes through, just as I say to myself every day, everything I am, I'm Source. I don't want you to idolize me, just as Jesus did. Don't try to be like me. You are. Stand up. Who are you? Speak your truth. What is your name? Say your name out loud right now to the heavens, to the universe. I am you, Source. Thank you. Say right now out loud, I am Source. I am Source Creator. Source is the only thing that takes me where I want to go in any dimension, any realm, any timeline. Nobody will touch my destiny or my light or my chakras. Nobody's going to touch my sexual life force. And my ideas will always return back to me somehow, some way. I will be benefited. And you make that a known. And they might get away with it for the short term, but it's going to come back to you. Make that known. Send it out to the universe. You don't have to deal with revenge. Let the ancestors deal with that. Quantum laws are just always going to work, dear lighted ones, and nobody can take that from you. But now you're going to re-identify yourself within the creation. You're going to say, no, I'm important. I'm meant to be here, and I'm going to ground myself. I'm going to be this seed. Everyone's going to know my seed because I will be known by my light. And I'm the one that's responsible for my light. I want to be connected with that energy vibration. And then you know what? When I put out a video, there'll be droves and droves and droves from the miles. You can't even count them as they're coming across the horizon. Why? Because you're the only one that carries your light. And you did. You worked in the garden. You pulled up those weeds. And I saw you replant it 100 times. You thought about everything, about how the sun hits it, about where the wind's coming from, about what animals can get in and out. I saw you. I saw your effort. And God will reward you tenfold. And that's why we say as masters, dear lighted ones, allow anybody to be on their path and do what they do and say what they say, but know who you are. And the only way to know who you are is to be harmonized with Source and be your organic alignment with Source. And your timelines will show you that you just made a profound shift, because they can't keep up with you on your vibration when you're truth and when you're purely authentic with who you are and who you've always been meant to be. God loves you so much. Can you just love yourself authentically? Say, no matter what body I sit in, say this out loud, dear lighted ones. We're going to heal a few of you right now. Angels of the Holy Light, angels of Archangel Michael and the Holy Sisters, please sit with those beings that need a healing on their physical vessels right now, please. The Holy Spirit is with you on these healings right now as you say this out loud. Take a deep breath and know that there is light as within and without, and your pure intention is everything. Hold your hands and your palms up, please. Put your feet on the floor and know that you are filled with the Holy Divine Light, the Holy Spirit light within my body and without. No matter what encasing I sit within right now, Holy Spirit, I'm asking you to come within and without me so that my days might be held in my body a little bit lighter. Whatever needs to be moved, can you move it? Whatever that needs to be moved, can you move it? I surrender it to you, Holy Source Creator. Can you be a part of my life? Can you live with me in spirit and in breath? When I speak to you, God, can you speak to me clearly so that I can hear you? When you guide me towards healthier food, can you guide me? And I will love you, and I will praise you. And I will treat my body with love, and I will love my life force and how my life force flows through me. And I will attract love that will love me deeply, no matter what I look like. Because I wouldn't want to go under the knife for anybody. I want them to love me for being me. Somehow along the way I took on that wound, that I wasn't like anyone else. But isn't that what you wanted, Father? Isn't that what you wanted? You wanted me to be authentic and genuine. And I was, and I still got beat up. But you made it through, daughters and children and sons. You're now coming back to you authentically, organically. You chose not to alter anything. And even if you did, you say, you know what, from here on out, I'm not going to alter who I am. I'm so fucking lovely. God made me this way. God's running through my veins, and when I speak, everybody can hear that I speak godly. My tongue is godly. I just want you to love who you are, dear lighted ones. There's nobody like you. We put your DNA together so profoundly. There was everybody in the universe come together for your design of your DNA, and why nobody should take it, nobody should snuff anything out. How dare anybody? The care I take to put each and every one of you together. You just will never know that's my job. And I'm showing you right here through my daughter. You're so very loved, children. Walk in your authentic skin. Love it, because I love you so. You're my gardens, dear lighted ones. You're my children. Be of good cheer. Be of good cheer, children. You are so loved. And your bodies will be healed that need to be healed. Place it on the table and surrender it to Source Creator. Place your wounds and place your densities on the table and say, anything you can take from me, Spirit, the lessons that I have learned, can you take this from me now? Yet I choose in my highest and in my best, I will learn whatever lessons I need to learn to move into my next level. Because I wish to expand with you in heart, mind, and soul. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you to my higher self that is directing me in my highest healing, so that I become more version of my organic self of who I am as spirit. And may I know that anything presented to me along the way is a tool. It's only a tool. I will always be embedded, and I will always breathe in the source, and I will be a role model. I hold myself high. I hold all life high. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I protect all life because I am. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you for that healing, Holy Spirit. Thank you. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I feel so much good. Oh my gosh, goosebumps everywhere. I think some of you are going to have a healing tonight. And sometimes that's what healing does, because it's
healing is not a linear experience, and you don't just wake up with a new nose kind of thing. We're going to teach you how to sculpt with your consciousness later on. And sometimes when your energy is that high, yes, you can wake up with a new nose. But right now, we're not saying that it's like plastic surgery where you wake up and you got a new nose. That's what we meant. So just know that. We love you so very much. Love you so very much. There's just one part. So for the last 5 minutes, my PayPal is paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. And anybody that would like to make a donation or book a session, collaboration or healing sessions, that would be really great. I would love to speak with you. Again, thank you to my 2 clients that have donated. I really love you. So thank you for all of your messages, and thank you for all of the intelligent comments. Thank you. And so there's one thing I wanted to talk about, and I'll leave you with. I'll do my next video. I always have all these notes. So as far as timeline shifts, you're going to know the timeline shifts because people are just going to be leaving, and sometimes they're going to be dramatic because they refuse to let go, and it just has to be that quick and that abrupt because the timelines have to get going. So sometimes the coming and going of people in your life may be abrupt, and just know it is in the highest consciousness of what they've written for their souls, and just know that. Some people, again, were characters in your story, and they've only contracted in their soul's blueprint to contract with beasts in certain cycles. So just know that, and just be okay with it, and do your healing around it. And just know that we wanted to say, with the eternal connection, when it comes to your connection with Source and everybody else, those threads never go anywhere. They're always with you. You just don't want to keep feeding connections that must go on and evolve in different ways, because you're going to, every thought that you put towards somebody that's meant to leave, you're just strengthening that cord. Those cords are always there on everybody you've ever dealt with. But it's just how much are you feeding those cords by constantly thinking about them or mourning about them or being sad about them. You keep feeling that cords, and they're just going to stay there in that rotation of nothingness. They want to move on and evolve. So again, it's how are you feeding the cords of the past? How are you feeding, are you nourishing new energies? Are you nourishing new in relationships? Are you nourishing new relations about your body, your cords and your reconnection with Source, your embodiment with Source, your organic essence with Source? So start reconnecting those threads from old to Source Creator, right? You want to start feeding Source, because Source is everything that gives you everything. Even though it might come through another person, it'll still Source giving it to that person to give to you. So Source is how Source manifests these new timelines. So Source just wanted me to say that. So again, these new timelines will have a higher version of Christ consciousness. Those that have more knowledge of Christ consciousness are going to come forward, like myself. They're going to have more knowledge about hybridization, the programs of the galactic federations, and the evolutionary plans for the Father's plan, which is us. Because we want to be more accepting and more unity consciousness, right? So we have to start there. So again, your identification as Source. Who are you? What exists within? What exists within you? That's your daily path work. If you want a session, book your session with me. It's $250 US for every 90 minutes. Or you can just send in a donation and then go back to all of my videos. I've got tons and tons of videos on different topics of experiences. New recipes. So again, these new timelines are not like new recipes. You don't want to go into a new timeline with the same recipe and ingredients you had last timeline. So new ingredients means that I'm going to get up and I'm going to go for a quick 5-minute jog. I'm going to come in and I'm going to meditate. So put the ingredients in of the timeline that you want to feed as. You want this beautiful lush soup. You want this beautiful lush garden. Whatever metaphor you want to use, right? A painting, whatever you want to metaphorically use it as a creative experience. And put that in, like a beautiful creative dance. You want different music, you want different active, you want different emotions, you want different people to come in and inspire you in different ways. That energy just builds to that richness of who you are vibrationally, right? Your vibrational essence is very rich, right? And so that's where you want to feel yourself. You want to start building that self-love, that life force. And this is why a lot of people know, and they start sensing and they start realizing, wow, I am the only one on the planet that is like me, because I am that vibrationally rich. And that has been my focus right from day one. So just know yourself, and you can rebuild that as your authentic, genuine offer. Rebuild the essence of Source. Rebuild the authentic version of your vibration. And again, there's nobody like you. So thank you, dear lighted ones. I'll go over the rest of the notes later because I ran out of time. We're so very grateful. Thank you so, so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for coming along in this beautiful ride. We're so happy about these new timelines. Yay. So excited. I thank you to my beautiful clients that have been so beautiful and their beautiful, generous donations. And we're going to be back on Monday. So we hope to see you. Thank you so much. We love you. We love you. Love you. And thank you for your giving and your donations and being here and sharing our channel. Okay, bye.